Hi everyone, it's Kristen again from That Blooming Garden. I thought I'd pop on today because being it's a bit snowy and icy outside, I'm not really venturing outside much, and of course there's not much to do in the garden when it's -7 Celsius. So I'm starting to get ready for Seedy Saturday, and a lot of people don't know about our event. So a Seedy Saturday is an event where often you can come to a hall, or it might be in a church, or they're held in different locations, and you come to, there'll be usually a seed swap, which is like a seed exchange. So you bring in a package of seeds and you get to take free seeds home. So it's kind of a one package for another package, right? There's also going to be at a Seedy Saturday events, there's usually speakers that come and talk about gardening topics. So this year I know we've got a couple speakers talking about bees and what you can do to encourage bees into your garden, because they're great pollinators, of course. And we also have a whole hall full of vendors selling garden related products. So it's a really fun event and just something nice to kick off the spring season. So Ladner Seedy Saturday is going to be on March 7th of this year, and it runs from 10 to 3 at the All Saints Anglican Church here on Arthur Drive. So it's at 4755 Arthur Drive in Ladner. So it's a great event. So if you want to think about coming to our seed swap, make sure to bring some seeds. A lot of people don't bring seeds, and you can always make a small donation towards a package of seeds if you see something there you really, really want. But I'm just going to go over some of the things I'm doing today. So I have lots of packages of seeds, and the best thing you can put your seeds in are these little coin envelopes. So when you're collecting seeds in the fall, you want to let them really dry out, because obviously sometimes there's quite a bit of moisture in the fall, and they store really well in these little paper envelopes. Now you can save your envelopes from your bills and stuff like that, and cut them in half and make your own envelopes out of recycled ones by recycling. And that works too, as long as you've got some space to write on what type of seed it is. Now this is just a Swiss chard seed, and I was packaged this. They were donated to our seed swap last year, so the seeds will be fine again this year. Seeds can last for different, depending on the crop, they last for different periods of time. So never throw out your seeds that you bought last year, because quite often some seeds can last up to 10 years and some only last for 1 year. So it's better to do some germination testing, but we'll go for germination testing another day. So these little coin envelopes are available at places like Staples. I think that's the only place here in Delta that I can actually find them. So, but you can also make your own envelopes. A lot of people do that. They just get a little piece of paper. I'll show you here. There's some California poppies, and they just kind of cut it out and folded in these sides and taped it together. And the key thing is putting as much information about that plant on the envelope, because of course if somebody is wanting to grow them, they sort of want to know, so maybe what height they're growing, what color they're going to be, what name of the plant is. Try to find the botanical name, the Latin name if you can, because that's always helpful, because in the garden there's many common names that are referred to as different plants, so it's good to have that botanical name if you can. Maybe put 10 or 20 seeds in a package. You don't have to load it with 100 seeds, because sometimes you don't need 100 seeds realistically, right? So things to look for when you're coming to our seed swap is come prepared to bring your seeds clean, and I'll show you an example of that. These are seeds. These are regular seeds, but as you can see, the seeds are actually little tiny black dots in there. I don't know if you can see them, but you'll notice there's a bunch of seed pods in there as well. So we don't have the time at Seedy Saturday to actually just clean these seeds for you, so they have to come in clean, preferably not in plastic bags either. Unless these seeds are super dry, they will start to mold in a plastic bag. So if you're doing it just before you bring them in, that's okay. We've probably got paper envelopes on hand, but we won't have a lot. They're quite costly. But you want to take those pods, all the shells, casings from the seeds, and put them in your compost. We only want the seed part of it, so we don't have to clean it. So what happens is these seeds come in, they get put aside, and then we can't process them, and the volunteers will have to clean them, and they'll probably sit until next year's seed swap. So you lose a year of viability. So bring them in clean is great. Another thing, we are going to have a lot of seeds, so it's not just vegetable seeds, but we have flower seeds and we have herb seeds. You can see that I've got little bags of chive seeds that have been donated, and it's a good time to start them because they're a little bit slow growing, so you want to start things like chives fairly soon. Great to start in January actually, but we will have seeds in March, so if you haven't started them, we will have lots of seed for you. Now another thing you want to think about is when you're bringing in seeds, we get tons and tons of pumpkin seeds, but I'll tell you, pumpkins and squash and gourds, they are promiscuous. Like, what do you mean? You're probably wondering what I mean by that. So say you're growing a pumpkin and a zucchini in the same garden. Well, the bees don't know the difference. They belong to the pumpkins, and the zucchinis belong in the same family of squash. So therefore, that bee can go to the pumpkin flower and can go to the zucchini flower, and if you save seeds from those, you could very well end up with not the real pumpkin that you thought you were going to get, but you might get a cross between that zucchini and pumpkin. So for that reason, we don't really encourage people bringing in pumpkin seeds. You can see I've got a whole basket full here. They will not go out this year. Unless you want to experiment with pumpkin seeds, I'd be more than happy to give them to you. But the thing is, we don't want you to be disappointed. So because they tend to cross with each other in the garden, unless you've grown them for 2 yards apart from each other, or you maybe you've only grown pumpkins and that's it, and nobody in your neighborhood grows anything else related to that, then that'd be different. But it's so hard to tell, and if you take these home and then somebody gets some kind of weird looking squash, and I see that a lot. People pick up pictures thinking like, what's this? And because they've saved their seed, not realizing that they will cross. So that's just a little lesson. Most seeds don't cross at all. If you're collecting tomato seeds or peas, a lot of them are like peas. A lot of them are wind or insect pollinated, but they don't often cross. It's very rare that you're going to have that happen, but it mostly happens in the squash family. So maybe take a look at your plant families and figure it out. But anyway, I hope you'll think about coming to our seed swap. We have right now. We have lots of seeds to start out the swap, so just bring your packages in. Quite often people will come in they might bring in 10 or 20 packages. They will leave them with us. You'll get a little ticket for each package you bring in, and you can come back later, go listen to a speaker, come back, and then trade, see what's on the table, because in that period of time, people will have brought in more seeds, and there may be more selection. So people kind of hang around for a good part of the day and exchanging seeds, and it's quite a fun event, and that's where I got my loofah seeds last year. So seed swaps are great, and you know what? It doesn't cost you anything. Maybe you grew something last year you didn't care for. Maybe you didn't like the beans you grew, and you want to trade them for some new bean seeds. And we've got tons of scarlet runner beans. So we don't really need a lot of those to come in, but if you like scarlet runner beans, we do have those. And we've got kale, and we've got plants like coreopsis and poppies, and all sorts of things that you want to grow in the vegetable garden. So we're always looking for new and interesting seeds, so feel free to bring those in. And we'll have the master gardeners on hand to give you advice. So if you're not sure of one of the seeds, you can always go ask them. They're usually located right next to the seed swap. And I hope to see you there. Anyway, just if you've got any questions about seed swaps to seed trading, just write them in the comments below this video, and I'd be happy to answer them. I'm a bit of a seed addict, so this is kind of fun for me. And today I'm spending this cold wintry day actually packaging up some really pink, fruffly poppy seeds. I don't know the name of them. They grew in our Loudoun community garden, and they're just beautiful, real doubles. So if you see those, you'll know that they're fresh seed from this year or from 2019. I keep forgetting we're into a new year. But anyway, all the seeds that were harvested there are harvested from 2019. So think about coming to the seed swap. It's a great event, and it's a really nice way of getting to know other people in the garden community and getting to know some of our great vendors that are going to be there. Talk to you soon. But thank you for watching, and I'll be on again. We'll talk about seed germination and testing it to see if your seeds are good or not. Anyway, talk to you later. Thanks for watching.